I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, not too bad.
Great, great, great. Hey, so I've checked out the second. So congratulations on this project.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So tell me what brought you on board, on this project to play Aaron Watson.
Yeah, it was kind of a whirlwind. I was in actually it was summer break. But my stage combat teacher from school was doing some stunts on the film, and he knew that they still hadn't cast the girl, and so he recommended me to Brian, the director, and they brought me in for an audition. And this was a week before we started shooting, and I got the call that I booked it the night before, like 7 p.m. that we started shooting. And I had to be on set the next morning. And so it was a huge, huge whirlwind. It was only one audition, and it was really quick. So it was quick and easy.
Wow. Well, I'm going to back up a little bit. A stage combat course.
Yeah,
What what
yeah.
what's that?
I was going to a performing arts college. I just graduated this year, and it was stage combat. So we did rapier and dagger training. We did hand-to-hand combat training. We did some firearm training. So I was really familiar with stage combat and all that stuff. And I grew up a dancer, so I already had some physicality in me. So that's where that training came from.
Wow. So no one should ever, no boy or man should ever mess with you because you know what you're doing.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. If as long as it's stage combat wise, I've only taken a few like self defense, so I can really safely hurt you without touching you. And I'm hoping that you'll just respond. You don't even have to get hit. You'll just fall away. So yeah.
So correct me if I'm wrong. Is this your first full-length feature film? Because I noticed you have done a lot of shorts in the past.
Yeah, so I did a lot of shorts, but this was my first feature union job, yeah, that I'd ever done.
So how was that overall experience for you? I mean, this must have been a great experience to make the second as your first feature film.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was so fun. I got to work with some really, really great people. Casper and Jack and Ryan were all so gracious and so awesome helping me kind of through it. And, luckily I had been on sets before because of school, which was great. So I wasn't, completely lost. But it was intense, and it was long days and hard working hours, but totally, totally worth it in the end. Absolutely. It was so fun.
Now it sounds like from the audition to the production, you didn't have very much prep time. So how did you get into the mindset of trying to be this character of Aaron Watson?
Yeah, I it kind of helped that it was all very quick and a whirlwind, because that's kind of how the movie goes. So that kind of helped a lot, but it was cool because I don't usually get to play people my age. Usually I'm cast as like anywhere from 14 to 17. So that was really fun to be able to be like, okay, cool. Like, this girl's my age, and she does things that are my age. So that was really fun. And I also usually am cast more as like the laid back, cool girl, maybe a little bit more intense, but I hardly ever get cast as the kind of like the upper scale, more feminine girl. So that was really, really fun to lean into. So just like embracing that part of it all was really great. It was really fun.
Because this is your first feature film, that totally changes everything for you.
Yeah, totally. It's opened me up to a lot of different stuff. So people can see me when they see this. They'll be able to see me as not only a child, which I really love, and they'll be able to see me more as like a feminine girl. And because normally I do play tomboys, so that's going to help a lot.
So what type of roles do you want to seek out for? if you had to choose yourself?
Um, that's tough because I really love doing all kinds of stuff. I loved that feminine, more higher class role, but I really do draw towards, just because I am more of a relaxed, lower vocal register person. I enjoy playing those a lot. I just wrapped a couple days ago. I did my first COVID feature, so that was really fun. It wasn't about COVID, but during COVID. And I played a girl in her early 20s who is recently diagnosed with schizophrenia. So I got to play someone with like severe mental health issues. And so that was like a dream role. I've always wanted to play someone like that. So I just like different things. I hope that I don't have to always do the same thing over and over and over again. And I think that the way I can, manipulate my voice and my attitude really helps in being able to do a lot of different things. So that's good.
That's amazing that you went from trying to prevent your own kidnapping in the second to play a schizophrenia. I mean, that's a drastic change in mindset, and that shows range. I do have to admit that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
But I am curious though, is how does filming work during the age of COVID? I mean, that must have been a different type of experience overall.
It was a little different, yeah, for sure. The set I was on was amazing because everybody wore masks. We had a COVID officer there, so there was a woman who was checking our symptoms every morning. We had to be tested before, in the middle, and then I think once more again throughout the process. Our officer was coming through sanitizing everybody's hands. Lunches were a lot different because there's no buffet style anymore, so they were all prepackaged. Same with, craft services. It's a lot more specific, but it's also great because I don't personal space is now respected a lot more. And personally, I haven't really had a whole lot of issues with this. Thankfully, I've been really, really lucky, but I do know people who, and women and men who their personal space on set has been violated a little bit. And so I think now with the introduction of this whole thing, all of the procedures and everything are a lot more specific and diligent. So it's a hard change to make, but I think it's great that people who are making things are making the changes, which is awesome.
That is awesome. Now for this movie, the one thing I did like about the director that Brian does is that he uses practical effects versus CGI effects. So
Yeah.
could you talk to me about your because you probably witnessed some of the practical effects that was all going on in an action film, which is very like 80s and 90s ish by
Yeah, it's so great. Brian was awesome about that. He was very gritty and down in it with it. So that it just made it so fun to be able to like really see explosions and car chases and all that. There's this one scene where I don't want to give too much away, but I have a curling iron in my hand and you press it up to somebody's face to, get away from them. And what they did is they drilled little holes in the curling iron, and then when they like flipped the switch on, it sent like this steam up when it touched his face, and that was like like I thought I was actually gonna hurt this guy. So that was like firsthand, like really, really, really cool. It was so awesome. It was so fun.
Did they teach you that in a acting combat class or with a with the curling iron?
Definitely. That was like day 2.
Talk about working along with your counterpart Jack throughout the entire movie, because you two were basically hand on hand throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, Jack and I hit it off right away. We off the scenes, we really hit it off listening to music. We have a really similar music style, and so that was great. But he's been working in the industry for a while, and so he was able to kind of answer questions that I had and kind of guide me in that respect as well. But he was a great scene partner. He was very supportive, very giving. I don't have one bad thing to say about him. He was a really, really great guy to work with. Very awesome.
Excellent. And then I'm also very impressed the fact, because you mentioned before that you work with Ryan and Casper for this film. But first, let's talk about Ryan, because Ryan is such a, how do you say, he's so admirable. He's so handsome. It's hard to picture him as an action star, especially in a film like this. So how was he? How was he on set and working with him?
Oh, that's so interesting that you would say to not picture him as an action star, because I guess working with him, that's all I see. I mean, we were talking at my audition because I asked him, I was like, how have you been, prepping for this? And he was working out like crazy. He really like prepped his body for this. And he's just overall a really, really hard worker. Like watching him work and do his thing was awesome, because he takes it seriously, because this is his job, and along with the rest of us. But I mean, it was really, really great to work with him, because I knew that he had my back and he had everyone's back there. And there was an openness where you could kind of riff off of him and you could riff off of each other, kind of thing, and keep going. But it was great because he took it really seriously, and he really kind of led the pack on, we're here to work and we're here to make this happen. So like, let's do it. And so it was really great to work with him.
Well, let's talk about his opposite, Casper, because a lot of people know him as an action star, and he has this sort of like this intimidating presence. So it's no surprise he could play the villain.
Yeah, and Casper and his wife, because his wife is in it as well, and they both are like, oh, they're so sweet. They're the sweetest people I've ever met. He was kind of like my dad. Like, he's just so like fun and just like lighthearted and hardworking, but very, very easy to talk to, very welcoming. Just like, he's just a good guy. He's a really great guy, and it made it so fun to work with someone. There's a scene where, he has me by the hair, and I think he like punches me either in the face or the stomach or something, and he throws me in a car, and he was always like, is this okay? Are you okay with this? Like, are you, did I hurt you? Always checking in. He was so awesome to work with. He was really, really fun.
Well, I'm glad you learn how to take punches in this film. That's a great
No
skill.
kidding. Yeah, no kidding.
Well, let me wrap it up with one more thing. I know we're like experiencing crazy times, and sometimes it's a silly question to ask. And obviously, you did a COVID movie yourself. But how are you keeping yourself sane and creative during times like this?
Yeah, I'm reading a lot. I'm reading a lot of books. I'm trying. I'll watch my shows when I can, kind of thing, and when I want to. But I've been really, really trying to not only sit and watch TV all day, because that's something that is really easy to fall into. So I've been writing a lot. I've been reading a ton. I've been doing just little exercise videos on my laptop in my living room, kind of thing. Cooking and sewing, kind of thing. Just it's been really great to be able to explore all of my other creative outlets right now, and take the time to like really go into them and do them. Whereas, if the world wasn't maybe ending, I would probably be a lot more just only focused on acting, which isn't a bad thing, but it is great to be able to have a little bit of a reset. So that's kind of what I've been doing.
You know what? I think that's great to hear, and I'm very eager to see where where your career turns next. So this is a terrific conversation.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see you there. So, thank you so much.
Hey, not a problem. And let's do this again in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll see you soon, hopefully.
Yes, let's do that. Hey, thank you very much. Bye now.
Thank you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.